Uh-oh, who was that?
That's Homer.
Cat?
I gotta take him into the doctor.
Oh no.
I think he's in
Pain.
a more rough condition than he's letting on, and I'm not looking forward to that. Yo, what up, people? Come here, buddy. Come here. Ah, Homer. 17-year-olds.
Oh my goodness.
This is my cat. It's so pretty.
Okay. Get up there. Go lay in your bed. Or bother me the entire time. One of the two. Okay, people. We're live. What do we got for talking points? What were we... I know I wanted to talk about the stress test that's coming up. I think it's next week, actually, is the stress test. I thought it was today, actually. 25th. I got to take a screenshot of this freeze frame I have on my thing right now. It is glorious. Atticus's face alone. I'll just save this for you guys real quick. Meow. 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 Cool. Okay, so we're doing like we used to, okay.
Just making sure.
Okay, here's that photo. I'm sharing it with you guys. I am. Tell you that much.
What you got on the menu?
I'll admit, we had an ice cream bar at work. I did not have much though. Okay.
Jeez, I had chicken fried steak tonight.
Chicken fried steak? Well, you're skinny. Yeah, you can afford it. You're twiggy ass, but number 9. Okay, let me go and edit that real quick.
I was gonna say, man. Yeah, or that orc titties at.
Orc titties. Cat.
Eat a big ass pickle.
A cat, stop it.
Destroying it.
I'm gonna go throw you in a bed. Come here. He's like rubbing up on my hand and shit. I'm like, Homer, I'm trying to type. Man, just knock it off. I love you. Stop it.
He's a cat man.
Dude, that's one of those nostalgic songs that brings me back to actual classic days. I'm a scat man. Yeah.
Yes. I just remember all the poop memes that came out of it. Hey, okay, you're getting annoying. No, come on. Get. I don't want to keep moving you back and forth across my fucking desk. So we haven't gotten together in a while. How's everyone been? I've missed you all. I have. Shut up.
I've missed you all as well.
It's been good. I just got back from vacation. We're in the middle of summer, and it's honestly crunch time. Like, and I don't know if it's crunch time for everybody else between work, personal life, what's going on. But dude, Classic is what, 40 days away?
40, yeah, something like that.
40? Holy cow, dude! 40 days it's dropping. And so it's crunch time on some of the things I want to get done before the game drops. Between content, between health, between setting up for school and moving into my apartment, dude. So it's crunch time because whenever WoW drops, I need to be 1000% ready to know life it, dude, and get that full experience. So
I am 1000% ready. I got like a bunch of money in my savings. Got my time requested off work. I got a girl who's gonna fucking help me know life it.
Nice.
Bruh.
Gotta have that support.
I've been planning. What's her name real quick? Courtney.
Is that the girl that was in the background?
Intercom system? Look at the intercom system. We'll hear him like, Courtney! Bathroom! What? Bathroom! Yeah.
Need more protein shake, Courtney. Get in.
Yeah, she was the one that was here last week. She's about to actually be here in a minute. She's gonna like walk in the door in like probably 2 minutes. But yeah. Aside from that, like the video I put out for the Classic WoW diet, that's generally what I'm gonna be eating. Like, maybe not so much chicken. Probably do like beef and stuff. I'm just honestly sick of eating chicken, but that's probably your best bet.
Yeah.
Had some dude comment today that was like, too much protein, not enough carbs. I was like, please link me your degree in nutrition.
Carbs? Like what?
Yeah, I was like, what? You want a lot of carbs to sit on your ass? Hello? Yeah, there's actually you can literally live without carbs. Like, So.
Well, yeah, that's literally what you know, all the craze is with all the just eating fats with the new what do you call it?
Keto.
Keto diets.
I don't know
Yeah,
what
keto.
dude. I just know Coke and Hot Pockets will not be beneficial. I mean, it's a go-to and it's the easy route, but
You're saying
Dude,
Coca-Cola like the drink or like Coke?
Yeah,
like-
yes.
No,
Coca-Cola, sorry.
cocaine and hot pockets. That's all you need.
That's what I thought. That's all you need. Just you'll be the best ever at WoW.
Just fucking.
for about half an hour, and then you'll.
And then you'll just die. It's good. You'll be like the best multitasker in existence and then die.
That's literally what you need to do. Like if you aren't snorting cocaine during Clow's launch, or classic
full
WoW's
stock.
launch. We're calling it Clow from now on. Classic WoW, Clow.
Clow.
Clow's
Clow.
launch. No.
Clow launch.
No, yeah, I mean that's why I'm gonna do like with the pre-workout because I know about when I'm gonna get tired, so I'm just gonna be like taking that prior to that time. I know
Straight
that
up, you're gonna be taking pre-workout for Classic WoW.
Yeah, why wouldn't I?
You juice it up, man. It'll be like, oh.
There she is. What'd I say? About 2 minutes.
pumping his muscles up while he's playing. Like,
But no, like, because I know it's gonna be about 16 hours in, is when I'm gonna start to like, start to
Fade
dip.
away.
Yeah, I'm gonna start to like dip, but I'll still have a good 4 hours in me before I'm really tired, and then another 4 hours before I'm fucked. So
Yeah.
pre-workout lasts for about 4 hours, so I basically need to just take it 8 hours prior to after 16 hours of playing. I need to down like 1 scoop, and then
yeah.
and then as I'm starting to coast off of that, probably like get 2 energy drinks in me or something.
So Atticus, you have how much time off of work?
2 weeks.
Entire week?
2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Damn,
so
son.
you think you're gonna be able to sustain with pre-workout? You think you'll be good for a whole week? You're not gonna crash for like 12 hours one night, or?
No, I can operate on like no sleep. It's really weird. Like, so if I get like, all right, I need 8 hours of rest, not 8 hours of sleep. So if I sleep for I shit you not, if I sleep for like 3 hours, and then as long as I'm not doing shit for the first 5 hours when I'm awake, after those like 5 hours, I'll be good to go. Like I got a full night's sleep.
Dude, ye old Sebastian said Viagra's the best pre-workout.
Viagra, wake your ass up.
Flowing.
I have never taken
Austin-
performance-enhancing drugs.
Austin said you're muted.
I fixed it.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah. I've been fucking around with mics all day because this stupid blue snowball mic, it's like $50. Supposed to be such a good mic. If I'm like pressing a key on my desk with this mic, because of this arm, it like gives this like bass sound. It's like boop, 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 boop. Like you can just barely
Oh,
hear it.
dude, yeah, it's the echoing sound.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, Pohgren,
You're good.
real quick. Pohgren, weigh in on this. Is Viagra
Seabass,
the
what
best
up?
pre-workout?
Viagra?
Hands down.
I mean, it depends on what kind of workout you're doing. I mean, if
Gotta
you
be.
plan on doing a bunch of like what I would consider butterfly squats, maybe. I mean, they call it the jackhammer, I think nowadays.
Jesus
Oh
my
fucking
God.
Christ.
Oh my god.
I mean, it does get your heart rate up and everything.
Jesus,
too.
tap dancing Christ, Pohgren. What is wrong with you?
We're talking about Viagra. I mean, come on, man.
Yes. Love it.
Anyway,
They asked if Viagra was the best pre-workout. Of course.
Of course.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Of course.
so to get ready, because that's what we're trying to talk about here. We all know what I've been doing to get ready. That's been a lot of my talking points for a while. I've got 2 weeks off. Let's start there. Who's got time off work already?
Yep, so my situation, I'm going to be in school, and I literally, guys, and for you guys watching right now, I have 17 hours left in school, in college, or university, if you want to call it that. Typically, you do 15 hours in a semester. I've got 2 additional Ps I've laid off. Anyways, I literally am going part-time this fall and spring just because Classic WoW's coming out. I really should do it in 1 semester, but because Classic WoW's coming, my parents, I'm fortunate enough, they're hooking it up for school. I was like, yo, let me go part-time. I got this game, obviously, called Classic WoW. You guys remember me playing it when I was 9 years old. It's coming back. They've been gracious enough to allow me to go part-time. And so that's my situation. I won't have a job, and I'll be streaming, making content on YouTube, trying to make it my job. So yeah, dude, I'm set. I have more than 2 weeks. All I have to do is go to 2 classes and a PE, dude. Like, it's
Yeah,
aerobic.
you're golden, dude.
aerobics, intro to technology, computer information technology, and then one other class. So yeah,
Oh my god. Intro to tech?
yeah,
So
something like that.
You could sleep through that class, dude.
Yeah. So yeah, man. Classic. The first couple months of Classic is gonna be live. It's gonna be lit. I'm fortunate enough to not have a job, not have a family, and I'm in school taking 7 hours. Oh, I'm so live, dude. So I'm good.
So
I'm good.
live.
I'm ready.
This
I'm
is your
prepared.
time. This is
It
your
is my time. I'm feeling good about this. I am, man. I've made some sacrifices, dude. Big time sacrifices in my life, but situation now, I'm gonna be in school, killing it.
would be golden.
What about you guys?
So
And
right
anybody
now,
else in the chat? Yeah. What? Just talk about your situation.
Yeah, if anybody
These are
wants
my
to chime in,
situations.
feel free to comment in the chat or whatever. Pohgren, yeah, what were you saying? Your
Okay, fair enough.
situation. You're like
It's
looking
completely
for a
up in the
different job right now, right?
Yeah, so right now it depends on the other job I get. If it's with my company, if it's outside of my company, what the PTO like that is for right now. If I can even ask off to
Ooh.
do a week, I might just
Right.
be having to settle with having possibly a 3-day weekend, and then that's it.
I mean, honestly, when
So
you
I'm
get
probably
hired for a
screwed.
new job, you should be able to have that negotiation power, in my opinion. Be like, hey, I had this planned. I'm going out of the
Yeah,
country.
don't tell them you're
or
playing
just
a
like,
game. Just
just be like,
Be like,
I'm
"Hey, I
leaving.
had
I'm going to
something
Europe
planned.
for a week. I got
tickets to go
non-refundable
flight."
ticket, bro. I can't. Just...
exactly. That's what I would do. I mean, like,
I mean, what are they gonna do? Come to your house?
Pohgren, if you can afford it, be like, man, just don't start work. just be like, hey,
yeah,
I can start
I
a week
can't
after
start
Classic.
until 2 months from now. By the way,
Yeah, I'm
I'm
thinking
not
2
that rich,
months.
man.
I'm trying to
not
put
that
in a
rich.
2 months notice.
But if you can handle that week off though, dude, just go into it and be like, oh yeah, if they offer you the job position, be like, okay, I need to have this week off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
A huge family trip, we do it every year. Something like that.
Well, see,
It should
that's
work,
the thing
no
with like
problem.
with the difference between like work and school. Like school is like this is how you have this amount of time to do it, and you're doing it
Right.
in this time. But then with like work, like I don't take vacations. I've pretty much never taken a vacation from work anywhere. Like I've literally been working nonstop since I was 14 years old. So it doesn't even matter where I was working at this point. Nowhere has ever gonna been like, no, you take too many vacations. They'd be like, oh, you actually want to not come to work? Oh, okay. Yep, sure.
You actually
So yeah, I mean, it's basically just like taking vacation time for me. It's not paid for me, but that's why I'm saving money, so I can have it kind of paid or whatever.
Yeah, me being in school taking 7 hours and not having a job is literally a vacation.
Yeah.
You literally are living the life I had when I first started college, man.
Yeah, no, I know, dude. It's the dream, and people talk about not wanting to grow up, not wanting to move on. Like, whew, life's gonna hit hard after these last 17 hours. These last 2. So yeah, I mean, I think I'm in a good position for Classic without a drop, man. Still in college, just
definitely.
don't have real life responsibilities.
What about you, Hypnotic?
Lucky
Man.
bastard.
I myself, I got a full week off work. Luckily, and this is something that a lot of people I think a lot of people enjoy when I talk about it, is that I actually got this job based off of my resume that literally said a bunch of shit that was basically saying I was a raid leader or a GM of, of a
Yes!
40-man raid group.
Thank you.
I mean, you have to word it a certain way, but
Right.
you literally can if you have the experience of actually raid leading or
Right.
actually being an officer, which I've been an officer in every single guild I can honestly say I've ever been in.
Yeah. I've
So
been trying to
I've-
tell my parents this for years, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
and
a
my fiance,
coordinated skill, man. It's a coordinate. I mean, you're coordinating, especially in vanilla, 40+ people to get together and be able to do one accomplished task.
Yeah.
So you have to word it very. You have to sprinkle it on there very carefully. Yes.
One of my buddies who runs his own pharmacy now, he got his pharmacy tech license and his training done with putting the fact that he was a guild leader. Like, so they basically
yes.
groomed him for his position.
Yeah. No. It's a real life skill, and it definitely helps out in the job. It can help out very well in the job field. So I took an entire week off work, and I literally just said World of Warcraft Classic, and I didn't put anything else. I just put World of Warcraft Classic, and my boss came to me and he's like, "Wow, World of Warcraft Classic? What do you mean?" Like that was the original game I started that with that I had on my resume. And he's like, "Oh, they're like doing a remastered version." And I'm like, "Kind of." I'm like, "They're kind of doing that." And he's like, "Okay," and then just approved my time off for an entire week of PTO. So I got an entire week off. I'm gonna be basically dungeon grinding. I guess is what essentially the new meta is, and a lot of the people from Sidewinder group, from our group, myself and GraysForDays is group within the guild for our rating, is going to be carrying my ass with 2 people from Copperhead. So we have actually some good players basically carrying me. They're like, "We need to get you 60 ASAP. We'll carry you." And I'm like, "Okay, if you want to do that." I mean, I'm like, "I don't think you'll have to carry me. Like, you know, I'm part of the war, melee Cleveland group. We're gonna be okay. Like, I'll be contributing."
I'm actually excited, but like I'm kind of not excited at the same time for this new dungeon grinding meta. Like I always knew it was a thing. It's been like that in like every expansion. There's every expansion that's come out since they ever did it. Is there's been like if you were to sit there and be leveling and you do a /who, you could see the people that were ahead of everyone else. They were all in a group doing dungeons together. Like I specifically remember seeing it a lot in Cataclysm, because when Cataclysm came out, there was one group that was just doing 5-mans, and they were just chaining 5-mans like back to back to back to back to back to back, and they were just zooming past everyone. So the problem with that for me is that I want to do the quest because I just want to have the quest done. I don't want to like have to go back and do all those quests again.
Get reputation.
Yeah, like the reputation's a big thing. And then just like the gold you get from it, there's gear you get from it. Right. So I still think that the way I'm probably going to do it is like a combination like I've always done, because I don't think that I'm going to have like people keeping up with me enough to where I can consistently grind a dungeon with the same group of people. I'm going to have to be jumping around from group to group to group.
Yeah, kind of wing it.
Like I'll have people that'll keep up with me for the first like probably day or two, but then after that they're going to start to fizzle out because I'm just going to be too high.
Yeah, no, I want to talk about dungeon grinding specifically, and what you guys think between dungeon grinding and questing, the 1 to 60 race, if you want to get there up there as early as possible. And I'll weigh in my thoughts on this from what I've heard and seen so far from people in the beta, people that have been testing it, such as Cargos. He did his whole 5-man dungeon grinding thing. That one guy, Hakurai, he's been making YouTube videos on it. And after personally talking to Cargos, he specifically tested this, so this isn't necessarily just coming up in the air. He came to the conclusion that if you quest efficiently, you know where the quests are, and you have like a 1 to 60 route laid out, if you execute it well, it's faster than 5-man dungeon grinding. The reason 5-man dungeon grinding is so appealing is because in a well-coordinated group, it doesn't even have to be super well-coordinated. It can surpass regular questing because, dude, questing can be painful. It can really set you back if you mess something up in your questing route. Yeah, Pohgren, you're nodding your head. You know what I'm talking about. Like, questing, an hour can go by and all of a sudden you only gain 2 bars worth of XP. Like, just because you weren't killing things, this and that. But, dude, if you're doing 5-man dungeon grinding, you're just back to back to back to back. You're grinding mobs. You're not thinking about anything. And there's going to be a 24-hour wall that you hit. You're going to do a 30-hour gaming session. Dude, for 30 hours straight, you can't efficiently grind quests. You can, but if you don't have it laid out, you're not going to. So that's where the 5-man dungeon grinding comes in, where you just kill mobs and you don't have to think about it. That's where it's advantageous in my eyes. And from what I've seen and heard from others, that's kind of my general consensus on 5-man dungeon grinding and classic 1 to 60. What do you guys think? Is that valid?
Yeah, I think it's valid. But I was just going to say, like, the key always is balance here, right? The only alternative I would see to possibly, because like normally how I used to do it is I might dungeon grind for certain level ranges, because the big thing you can't let go of in Classic WoW is reputation. So not dungeon grinding and just having it super mapped out probably is the most efficient thing you could do. But let's say you don't want to worry about questing, you want to make sure you hit certain quests. So like if you're Alliance, there's that one that that gives you like a really kick-ass ring and everything like that. I can't remember the name of the damn.
Is it Seal of Rin? Is that what you're talking about? That quest line?
From
I think so. No, not Shadowfang Keep. No, you get it as a reward after, like, there's an event.
Oh yeah, doing dead mines.
Yeah.
Dead
So-
Mines, Stockades, and like 10
I
other
can't
quests.
remember the name of the dungeon, the actual quest line itself, but doing that gets you like almost honored with every faction of the alliance.
Right.
It's awesome. It gives you a ton of experience, which experience you're gonna need. You're gonna need that experience. I mean, so you're gonna need that reputation for different items down the road. Like
Yeah.
you can get it through questing, but as long as you focus on dungeons and then go and do those heavy reputation-based quests, like the Horde have them too. It's the basically doing the dungeon quests to get you that reputation with the Horde, but like, you know, you still won't be perfectly off with the undead if you're an orc. You're gonna be like, you'll probably still be at friendly when you hit 60 versus like if you actually quested,
Right.
you'd probably be up, unless you do like Strathhome maybe.
Real quick, Vrico22 just said mob tagging in dungeons with 2 accounts was the quickest way to level. You need a high level character
Yeah,
already to do that though, but
Mm.
not possible. Unfortunately, they caught on to that, and on the beta, if you had, they did it like, you know how it is on retail. Basically, if you tag a mob and then like somebody else helps you kill it, and you only get XP for like X percentage of the damage you dealt to the mob or something. It's not like it was where you got full XP. So doing the whole thing like where you could just zoom through shit, like if you had like a character that had some kind of AoE, you could just go in the dungeon, have the high level go around and pick everything up, drop group, have the low level AoE tag everything, then stay out of group while they kill it. The high level kills it, everything's tagged to the low level, and they get like full XP as if they just killed elites by themselves. So unfortunately we can't do that, but I don't know. I don't think it's actually like it's a shitty thing because I wanted to be able to do stuff like that for my like characters, but at the same time it definitely
So
makes
that
it like
actually was a change? Is that how it was in vanilla, and they're actually going to change that?
it was like that
Classic
up
servers?
until like Cataclysm.
Well, that's not.
Because like Wrath servers, like Wrath private servers, that's how like people literally make, like I made gold on Wrath private servers by selling people 60 boost. I could get someone from 1 to 60 in literally like 2 hours.
Dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty.
But it was just like that's how I just made gold, because you could just buy gold on the thing with like real money, so it didn't even matter. But like it was just like I just didn't want to spend money on it. I'd rather spend 2 hours and get 10k
Just
gold
hanging
out of
out,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they're considering an exploit. They fixed it. What I'm curious is what the original percentages were. I don't know if you got 100%. If you just got like, you know, what I was gonna do originally was have a druid at 60, put thorns on my alt, have 2 accounts, and then I don't remember. We had a discussion on this whether getting tagged with an AOE that did damage to the enemy tagged it for you or not. But regardless, like if that gave you 100% experience, and then my druid instantly killed it, or if it gave you 50%, if
It was
gives you
100%.
Okay, yeah. So I'm curious, like if it goes down to like 50% or 35%, I think it still might be advantageous and work better than, you know, grinding just 1 to 60 on your own. By tagging mobs and completing quests, right? Like kill quests, even collecting stuff for quests,
Yeah.
like for Zeverhoofs, things like that. Like if you instantly kill that stuff,
That's
is
a
it
lot
still
faster, yeah. No,
advantageous,
I
right?
get what you're saying, like, because you're not getting the grinding XP, but you're still getting the quest completion XP.
Yes.
So,
yeah, and so
yeah.
I'm curious. I think it's still going to be more efficient than just solo leveling 1 to 60.
Oh,
so it
yeah.
might still be viable,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I hope it is, because I have huge plans on doing that myself and having 2 accounts.
Yeah, you could definitely just carry, like, other characters through on a different account or whatever,
Right.
like, easily, and get stuff done quicker and whatnot, but
Right.
you'll still probably end up running out of quest, because you'll probably just out-level everything.
Oh, you either run out of quests very quickly, or end up to the point where where I think a lot of people, if they're not experienced within vanilla, are gonna run into the like level range where you have no idea where you need to be at,
Yeah.
or you have
Right.
so many quests.
That's a
Right,
big problem with vanilla,
You know,
is that the zones aren't just linear.
over the
You've
fucking
got to
Yes.
you've got to be like, I'm in Northern Barrens, now I'm going over to Ratchet, and then I'm running to Thunderbluff, now I'm up in Northern Barrens again, and now I'm in Stone Talon and back down to Northern Barrens, and it's like
Yeah,
it is
it's
all
crazy.
over the damn place. So that's gonna be a huge issue. Like, get ready, because like people are gonna be like, "Where do I go now? I've done all my quests and everything is red. I can't do it." And
Yeah, I
I'm
was
just gonna say,
planning on-
"Get out here, Wrath, baby."
By the
On
way,
the okay.
sorry, no. Mine's not actually important to what we're talking about right now.
No,
So if
on
you
the
wanna go
boosting
and-
thing, I was just gonna weigh in.
Pohgren's like, and on another note.
All this
Wait, no, I just literally thought about it. I'm sorry, it just came to my
Go
mind.
for it,
Sorry,
go for
Grace.
it.
Go
Yeah,
ahead, man.
I was just gonna tie up this discussion. All this considered, I was planning on having 2 accounts, maxing all my characters at 35. Get those profession cooldowns, alchemy, leatherworking, tailoring,
Yeah.
whatnot. So I think it would the exploit that they fixed, they're patched, if you want to call it that. It would still the strategy would still fit in the parameters that I want to execute it in.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's all I gotta say.
It just won't be as fast.
Yeah,
That's all.
and I just wanted to say my little spiel before we go to a different subject quick.
Please.
Pohgren, if you can hold it. If you can hold
can
it.
hold it,
You
I
know,
can
now
hold
you're
it.
like itching your face. You're like, there. You're like,
It's like,
I
"Oh,
can't
I
hold
have
it.
it."
It's taking over.
No, you're good.
No, what I was saying was, I plan on doing my Mulgore run because I'm a Tauren warrior, 1 to 13 as a duo partner, and then we're gonna start with a 5-man grinding group at RFC in Orgrimmar. By
I
doing
hope it
the first
works.
Orgrimmar. I hope it does too, my brother. I hope it does too. But from what we've all seen, it
Rangefire, Dead
should
Mines, Wailing
prove-
Caverns. It's gonna be nasty.
it should prove to iron out to be substantially faster, even close to like world first through RFC anyways, as far as getting to the max level fastest. Well, not max, but that level range, with 5 people, mind you, not just yourself. You know, grinding on a hunter. But so that's my game plan is with a few of our members from our guild, a couple within our Sidewinder group and a couple from the Copperhead group. So we have some really hardcore people, as well as some people who are like meh, but we'll be one of the first in our group to get to 60 and then grind that out. But we're mapping it out right now, and I'm really happy to be part of this group because it's very hardcore. Like we're like mapping it out, like this is our full strategy. Like we go from RFC to go down to Ratchet to do all these quests, these 5 quests, and then you go to WC, and then you like, you know, it's like the full. And we have a full breakdown to do it.
You should consider
Run into dead mines, that's way too far out of the way, and we could get killed, and
well,
you know, all this
just
stuff.
swim up the coast.
I mean,
to West.
I
You
do want that headpiece, you know, the ninja headpiece. I mean, because that makes
The
you
Defias
automatically
mask.
the best.
You talking about the red Defias mask?
Yeah, the red Defiance mask. That
You
makes you
playing a
automatically
rogue?
the best. Nah, I'm not playing a
Pohgren,
rogue.
what you got?
It's
what
class
would we cut
specific.
you off on?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Atticus has heard me talk about this at infinitum. There's the word no. So, I did some testing with Melderon, and it has enlightened us to how glancing blows work. So, glancing blows, we always thought were like a 30%, like 40%, something like. It's actually if you have the appropriate weapon skill at your level, attacking something 3 levels higher than you, it's 35%. So, a white hit is your full white damage. A glancing blow is 35% of. We found out simply adding 5 extra onto your cap drops it down to 16%. That's just 5 extra weapon skill points. Those gloves plus the helm that you can get, there's a leather
you
helm
there.
that increases sword and axes. Literally as a tank, you can no longer have to deal with glancing blows, reducing your threat because they're not doing enough damage effectively. Now, this has been tested enough? No. There's going to be a ton of testing going to be done once class, but it also makes it for like, imagine being a human rogue. You don't deal with glancing blows.
Right.
Your DPS increases, I don't know, maybe 35% more. If
Right.
more. Like being a warrior, being any class that needs to use a melee weapon, shamans, for instance. Being an orc shaman now, to do enhancement is now looking a little bit better.
That's
Like it's really interesting. It's kind of cool. And it's working so far the exact same as it does on the beta to the PTR. Like from what we have. When Classic comes out, it's gonna be something I'm gonna be heavily testing into because it helps with some crazy like number crunching. I know it's not anything super like oh my god, like light bulb, but it's a step in the right direction because if we can figure out how these mechanics work, we can figure out how to manipulate everything else basically. So imagine having to no longer deal with white hits, but then also being able to then multiply your chances of getting criticals more than you normally would already. So let's say you have a 60% chance but what if there's a way in which you can mitigate that and actually make it higher based off of just some random gear you're wearing? I don't know. This is an idea I had back, man. Something I want to kind of number crunch and sit down and really like focus on. Like I even found some cool stuff about druids because I had to do bear, cat, and caster form of the druid. And the bear form, the cat first off hits for about every 3 enemy swing, which I think is like 3 seconds. A cat attacks 3 times. So effectively, but cats can't be affected by the 16% reduction of attack weapons. But the fact that the cat mechanically works that way, and if people have actually noticed that at all, because the cat crits for about double, whereas the bear crits for triple. So when a bear has a critical attack, it's triple its white damage. So bears themselves crit harder. So like if you can get a bear to hit faster and more often, you can have a chance to get harder.
So it's 3 times the white damage when you white crit.
When you white crit. Well, no, when you crit, if I just auto attack and crit off that auto attack, or if I use
white damage,
your white damage can be amplified based off.
But what about actual ability damage? What's the
ability damage? That's where other variables come into factor that we haven't.
Right.
Like I'm going to be deep diving into.
Yeah, but you haven't dived into it. Okay.
Yeah, no, I haven't gone.
No problem. I was just curious because the white damage or the yellow damage is where
if you can increase yellow damage on a cat, you can effectively make something that's better than a rogue. IMO, just in my opinion. There's testing to be done. I want to get my hands on this. I want to see mechanically how this works, and if we can't just pull something out of our ass. Because if not, maybe I end up replicating something we've already known, and literally nothing changes. But if not, the weapon skill is a factor, and it's great, and it's going to be great for warriors. It's going to be great for shamans. It's going to be great for rogue.
Well, weapon skill's always been thought to be the highest.
Top tier.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's a leather helm. I'll
15
find it
plus at least. If you can get 15 plus, you're
cool.
That's glancing blows us off the table. As far as what I was concerned for warriors, I thought it was 15 plus. If you could get 15 on your, and which is very difficult. People are like, oh, 15, whatever. But like 15 is like insanely difficult to get for weapon skill.
Let's
if you do, when you get to Nax, the best DPS in the game, hands down, is human rogue and human warrior, because there is a weapon that you can get that increases your sword skill.
Sword, yeah.
So if you couple that with, something, the other things that, all the other stuff.
No, you can't do them.
That's crazy. It's like an offhand or something.
Yeah.
But
yes, I know
real
what
quick,
weapon you're talking about.
John Gotti says, my biggest fear is the 1 to 10 grind. Anyone got any good ideas for dealing with the crowd at low level areas? So if you get onto the, try to get onto the stress test next time they have it, because they're having one more like next week. And
it's been pushed back. We don't know when it's happening. But...
Oh, okay. Well, whenever they're having it. But I did it. Okay, so I was on the last open stress test, and like not at the very, very peak, but like a few hours later in the starting zones, the 1 to 10 stuff, it wasn't that bad. Like it was actually really, really good. Like there was maybe like 3 to 4 people that I'd see from time to time, and. I don't know how it is when it's like extremely populated, but because of this layering system, I don't think it's going to be crazy bad.
Right. No, and that I got a couple of points, John Gotti. I'll answer to that. I've got a couple different strategies in whatever scenario that we end up getting in, but I want to talk on the stress test. Obviously I wasn't in the beta, but I've done 24-hour streams on the stress test lately from the start to finish. And I'll tell you from my experience at the beginning, and what I've heard from other people, dude, the layering system in these stress tests, I don't think is accurate. I think they were testing them, but I don't think that it's a good what I saw, I don't think is going to be a good representation of what we're going to see on launch at all. Yeah, and it brings us back to, after these stress tests, I was talking to people, I was like, guys, layering feels like sharding, or like it.
No, you're not wrong.
Like,
you're right.
I saw like 15, 20 people max in each of the starting zones. I was like, what I was told in layering and what our consensus was, to combat sharding, it was numbers were thrown out by tips out, a couple of these big creators, and it's still very vague, but the idea was there's going to be basically 3 layers on a server with 3,000 people. That's what I had on each layer. So you'd still get the real feel, but it it wouldn't crash your servers with no type of layering system. But
Right, and you wouldn't have a login queue and
right. So layering is going to be great. There's going to be 2,000 to 3,000 people max on your server at a time. We saw nothing like that. And they're not saying they're going to do dynamic respawns in the 1 to 10 zones, John Gotti. So hopefully this next stress test will be more of a close representation. But I will say this. On Classic Launch, if layering ends up being what I think it's going to be, and you literally have, you know, let's say at minimum 1,000 people on your layer, and that's continent-wide. Anyways, we can break it down between starting zones. You should expect 200 to 500 people around you in the starting zone if layering comes out as it was. The proposition of it, dude, 200 to 500 and no dynamic respawns, it's going to be insane. You're not going to be able to complete any quests. You're not going to be able to kill anything.
Yeah.
But we did see things spawn faster on beta stress tests. On the stress test and on the beta, mobs were actually spawning quicker, especially quest-specific mobs. Like the
Recently.
yeah, they were faster than everybody else. They were counting it. So there's a couple quests you're gonna have to get around. I'll tell you this, John Gotti. We really don't know what's gonna happen, but I will say one of my strategies, and I'll share this with you. The few people that are watching us on the live stream right now, I didn't get to do it last stress test, but I'm going to do all the minimum level quests. I did it on the last stress test in the Torn starting zone. You can do the Null quest as early as level 3, and my strategy is going to be kill everything I can, complete as many early quests in your starting zone that you can. Like the Torns, they have a pick up the water jug, bring it back. That's free XP. You don't even have to do anything.
Easy.
Right? So there's a couple. It depends on what starting zone you're in. Map out 1 or 2, 3 quests you're going to do in that starting zone, and you know you're going to be able to complete. Get the heck out of there. You got to have a friend or two that you can grind mobs and do the earliest quest possible in the 5 to 10 zone and get ahead of the curve on completing quests. If you can get ahead of the completing quest curve, I don't care if you're lower level than everyone else in the starting zone. If you're completing quests at a faster rate than everybody else, and like if I complete that Null quest before everyone else in the Torn starting zone, I won. I'm going to be ahead of the crowd from there on out. And so that's my advice, is figure out your starting zone. In the next stress test, do the starting zone 1 to 5, figure out the minimum level requirement. I think that there's level 3 quests in all the 5 to 10 starting zones. That's not confirmed, but I'm pretty sure there's at least one. And grind in that 5 to 10 zone with 1 or 2 buddies and just stay ahead of the curve. I think that's the most effective strategy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'll kind of tailgate onto what you were saying. So if you just magically can't sign in, or you know, one of these famous Blizzard launches happens and you're slightly behind, or someone you can notice there's already level 3 or level 4 standing next to you when you spawn in, my best advice is hopefully you can get a leveling partner and you guys can grind your way past the first zone, especially in Mulgore. Mulgore is probably the worst because of the collection quests. Right. There's so freaking many, like 0 to 6, 0 to 7.
Yeah, when I've been testing lately, it's like I'm zooming through it, and even with like a few people on these like private servers, like the competition with just a few people there trying to do the Vile Familiars and the Scorpid Tails, it's
insane.
It's cancerous. Like I literally just hit a standstill right there.
So just imagine that times 10.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
If it's
100 people there.
As it's advertised by Blizzard up to this point, it's going to be hell. Literally. Yeah. And so if you have
a really bad.
I think the only thing for them to do is to
grind it out and
for Blizzard. I think that the first
from Blizzard.
The first point that they need to do for like layering is like in that first day or whatever, or however, like just until they see that stuff starts to taper off, they need to have a fuck ton of layers. Like not just like
they
5,
can't have
like
3,000 people in a layer, right?
Yeah, they need to have
1,000 or less.
They need to have like literally 1,000 layers. Like so, there's like 5 to 10 people in the starting zones. And if they could do that,
that's gonna be too hard to micromanage, though.
Yeah, but if they could do that, then that would be the way for it to go, because then nobody's gonna get slowed down. It's just gonna be more about who can actually like kill stuff better.
Right. So what I was saying is like if you can't, and what come to fruition is what all of us fear, which honestly, if you don't literally log in within like 2 minutes of the servers going live and have like a leveling partner that can instant tag stuff,
you're
gonna be left behind. You're gonna be left behind.
Yeah.
So the best advice I can give to that aspect is hopefully you can grab somebody. I don't even care if it's a leveling buddy you have in the background. Just invite somebody random and be like, dude, let's just kill as many mobs as we can to level like 3 or 4, and then
your
skip
strategy.
it.
Copy paste your strategy in a Google Doc, and send out some whispers to 2 or 3 people. Be like, this is what we're doing. Get in my group. We're going.
Yeah, I think the best way to do it is literally just to get just get in a full group and just run around and start doing the quest. Because there's no other way to do it. Honestly, like you're just gonna be behind. Like the XP you're gonna get from killing is not gonna be. Well, on top of that, like you're gonna be doing the drop quest, and if you're doing that with a group, you're gonna be killing more stuff anyway. So you're still gonna get a good amount of stuff, and not everybody's gonna be killing the same mob. So, like I guess it's probably gonna average out, but I think the best way is just to get the quest done as quick as you can. If it's either you do one or 2 ways. You either go do the quest as quick as you can with a full group, or you just take one leveling partner and go outside the zone and just start killing the level 6 shit.
And kill the level 6 shit, and then go to the next city entirely.
What I was gonna say, John Gotti and Brico all.
I was gonna say
what you're talking about, the quest chains potentially being a bigger restriction on leveling. There are a couple quest chains if you're starting in the Gnomon Dwarf. There are some prerequisites you need to do to get these follow-up quests in Keranos, right? But John Gotti, remember your base rules. You don't get any bonus XP over mobs 5 levels higher than you, right? So if you're level 1 and you get in a leveling group, you go out to that starting zone. You killing level 7 stuff doesn't give you more XP than killing level 6 stuff, right? And so knowing these general rules, that can help speed up your 1 to 10 process, getting ahead of the crowd. Trying to think of some others, whether it's knowing the 5-man cap rule, no additional XP, knowing your quest chains, and really just having the minimum level requirement for quests mapped out. Now, you can't trust private servers. I seriously, on this last stress test, I would level 1 to 10, and at each level run to all the NPCs in your starting zone and be like, okay, what quests can I pick up? Which ones can I not pick up? And at every level, you mark that. And so if you do all that stuff, I'm telling you, you're going to be ahead of the crowd. You're gonna win, and honestly, my opinion on this, I don't think Blizzard's gonna advertise layering the way they did it first. I think everyone's gonna get in the starting zone. I think they're gonna complete all the starting zone quests, and I think you're gonna have 30, 40 people around you max, and everyone's gonna get the full experience. If you call it the full experience, I think it's gonna be a little bit of a disappointment if we breeze through the starting zone. But the sad reality. I don't know. This last stress test, they postponed it. I think it was good that they postponed it, because getting closer to launch, they're gonna have a lot more people. Whatever bugs they had to do up to this point, I don't know. It doesn't seem like they gave us a good representation of what layering is gonna look like on the beta or the stress test for that matter. I'm telling you, I played those stress tests the entire time. I didn't see more than 50 people in my layer at a time, which was not what it was advertised. And in that last stress test, they brought it down to 3 or 4 servers right away. They had 20 servers ready, and they were like, oh snap, first 5 minutes went by. They were like, dude, we're consolidating servers. It's way too scarce. And even then, like, we had 50 people around us, maybe 100, and that was it, dude. So be prepared to do more of a streamline.
But remember, they shrink that down, but that's also the entire continent, or the entire world for that matter, on that slice.
Right.
So that you say there's 100 people. Well, what about the other? And you were in Thunderbluff, right? You were in Mulgore. You were in the Torrent starting zone, right?
Yeah. I was in Mulgore.
So, which is the least popular starting zone out of all of them. To be fair, I'm just trying to be fair. I'm not trying to like undercut you or anything. But when I was on there, I got on there probably about 45 minutes after it started, because I just couldn't straight up log in. Yeah. And that's one of my biggest fears that'll happen with the launch.
That's what's happened on these private server launches for me, and it's it's devastating because you just get behind everybody.
It really is.
And
you just get buried, and then, you just can't do anything. Yeah. So if that happens, I'm gonna be super pissed.
And however, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, however, on Battle for Azeroth launch, it was the smoothest, buttery, fucking amazing launch I've ever seen Blizzard do. But before that, the worst launches I've ever seen in the game history. But Battle for Azeroth was perfect.
But will Classic have more people on the launch than Battle for Azeroth?
Ooh, that's a good one, man. I don't know, man. That's
I think
hard to
it will,
say because...
honestly. Because, I mean, like, how many people have completely given up?
What's that?
You're trolling Hypnotic.
What? You know what? Battle for Azeroth was the hottest selling expansion ever. So I don't know right off the launch
How?
sake if it will be. It was.
He's not wrong. Numbers
I'm not-
speaking.
No,
No,
that's
I'm
what I'm
speaking
saying.
by
That's
numbers,
weird.
man,
Like
pure
how I
numbers,
didn't
so
know
it's
that
like-
happened.
So their
Yeah,
sub
oh,
count, literally right as they went to launch, was 10 million.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Like,
The largest
It
sub
was
count
because if
they've
you look at
ever
the
had.
if you count just the sales of game,
I remember.
it jumped.
I thought they weren't
And
releasing that
literally
information anymore.
No.
Nope.
People were able to get the sales figure. They were able to
Battle
see
for
how many
Azeroth
copies
was
sold. That's
huge.
so if you
Huge.
it was
Man.
huge on launch, and then the game literally took a giant Cleveland steamer.
Yeah,
It
yeah. I
did.
mean, I was getting ready
It
to say
did. It was
that's-
like I think it was month 3, and literally they lost like 3 million subs.
that's 10 million disappointed
Like-
people buying Battle for Azeroth.
It went down to
I
like
don't know.
6, and now it's at like 3 or 4. I don't even know. It might be less than that.
Yeah.
I know it absolutely was like whoop 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 most ever, and the most expansion ever sold, and then like 2 months later it was like just
think Classic will
absolutely
beat
just
it, honestly.
God died.
I don't see how it
Um,
wouldn't.
I don't know, man, but if they're using the same server technology that they're using and the same client, the same launch client as Battle for Azeroth. So my thing is they had this huge, amazing, absolutely amazing launch with Battle for Azeroth, and now they have these huge servers that have nothing going on them. So they're gonna use those assets over to Classic, and I think that was kind of the idea from the start point. That they're going to use those assets. So I'm really hoping, especially because like I'm in that 5-man grind group. So if like we don't all get to like level 10 to 12-ish range within 2 to 3 hours, it's not going to work out very well.
Well, this is the thing. Have a contingency plan. The contingency plan, the
for sure.
only one that will work. If you, let's just all just bank on getting completely screwed with the launch, because that's what's probably going to happen.
Probably going to happen.
So you need to be prepared to play for those first 24 to even possibly 30 hours straight. And then be prepared to only get 4 to 6 hours of sleep before you get on and play for another 20 hours. Because that is the only way. That is the only way that you will get yourself ahead of the pack. Because you can't bank on being in the server fine and dandy like everybody else. You can't bank on being faster at leveling than everybody else, because overall just speed of leveling, because there's people out there right now that are micromanaging the fuck learning this exact thing, like committing all of their everything to memory that's going to help them level quicker. So you need to just have the heart that they don't have.
Yeah.
That's
You
what
see,
it comes down to. in
You
my
know,
opinion.
and I'm Atacas, I don't know how many people are actually going to do that, how many people are going to be on a server, and if the people that go, like, so you're basically saying, like, people that aren't going to play the first 24 hours, like, are they not going to be able to play the game fun the first couple days? Like, is that what you're saying?
What do you
like,
mean? Like, if you log in the first 24 hours, you're not going to be able to have fun? Like,
well, I'm saying, like, if you get behind the leveling curve in the first
that's
24
if you're
hours.
trying to stay ahead. If you're trying to stay ahead of the leveling curve, let's be real, you're not
Yeah.
playing to, like, enjoy the game. You're playing to be the best. You know what I'm saying?
I think that'll come down to what server you sign up for, because streamers are a thing.
Yeah.
We're
Like,
going to be
Depends.
I'm playing to do, like, a little bit of a combination of both. I want to be ahead, but I also
Whoa.
want to have fun. So, like,
Sorry, somebody described.
I want to do, like, you know, I want to do...
Pilgrim's like dying over here.
I want to do, like, you know, all the dungeons and whatnot, quests for all of them. I want to get, like,
Right.
Whirlwind Axe. I want to get, like, the Scarlet Monastery set and all that. But I still want to do it quickly. I don't think I'm going to be ahead of everyone, but I'm going to... There's probably going to be points where I'm ahead of a lot of people.
Yeah, the Zerg. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Thermophile's referring to as the Zerg. I'm just curious how much time we're gonna have to invest to get past that Zerg. Like, is the Zerg gonna require you to play 24 hours straight, or can you get past the Zerg? Because there's gonna be a lot of people going to work.
That's an... Go ahead,
Poker.
Poker.
Sorry, that's just something I thought about, because I've actually been able to get ahead of the curve on different servers doing this. So what you do is you try to get on initial launch time. Just get there, do what you need to do. After you play for, let's say you start trying to quest for a couple hours, people are going to start fading off. What
Right.
you can do is you can take like maybe 2-3 hour break, take a nap, sleep, wake up. By the time you wake up, let's say the server launches at noon, That
Right.
day, you have a lot of people who've taken off of work. You sleep for like 2-3 hours after playing for like 5. That puts you probably close to midnight. At that point, a bunch of people have already been pushing through it and trying to get through it. You literally get that moment. When everyone logs off to go to sleep, you then get that moment because not everyone's going to be able to come back on the next day because of work. You're right. But literally just take that 3-hour nap. That's your sleep for the next 12 hours.
Yeah,
Go. Just run with it. Get some
that's
energy
about it.
drinks. You'll be able to get ahead of the pack. There'll
See-
be people who will be ahead of you, but you won't have to deal with the majority of the pack.
See, that's very interesting that you say that, and I totally agree with you as far as the sleeping schedule goes. You need to know when the up times are going to be and when the down times are going to be. Not everybody is taking off work for this, or not everybody is, when we played vanilla, is interested back in vanilla at the same time as much as we are going to be, like taking off work, PTO, and being able to afford that much time. But so what's very interesting is instance grinding groups. It does not matter
Right.
what time I go in there.
Yeah.
I have unlimited
but that's-
resource
yeah.
to leveling, right?
That's true. That's
Now,
that's why
don't-
instance grinding might actually be the way to do it. You don't have to compete
Yeah.
with anybody.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I'm kind of advertising it. At the same time, we're gonna go very, very hard. We're gonna go we're gonna be in WC in like 6 hours. Like we're gonna be, we're going hard as shit. We're at least for that first day, I'm probably gonna be up 24 hours. We're gonna be like probably our goal set before we go to sleep is to be level 24. So hopefully
Yeah, that's
we can do
kinda
that.
where I'm at too. Is around 24
Yeah.
in the first.
Yeah, within that
Playthrough.
first 24 hour, the first day
Speaking on, I think
before
I'm
you go
gonna.
to sleep.
I think I'm actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm probably gonna like do a test run of a 24-hour stream and see if I can push it longer than 24 hours. Because
There you go.
I've been
Heard it
able to
here
get
first.
like I've been able to get like 3 days off in a row, so I might be able to just fucking try that here in a week or two and just see what happens. Like as far as
See,
like my
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah,
levels and
that's
shit.
what I did on the stress test, Atticus.
That's awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
I might do that on the next stress
And
test.
it was
honestly.
super
That's
interesting.
awesome.
Oh, dude, and if I can tell you guys, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to last 4 hours or not. Like, I seriously was nervous about doing a 24-hour live stream, playing Classic WoW.
Oh, dude, I remember that.
Dude, as soon
You
as
were
I-
so pumped for it, man. You were
as soon as I
there,
got my
dude.
hands on the game, like I felt the wall, I felt the exhaustion. But if you, and I'm not saying that I did, but if you've ever taken anything before, that's what it felt like playing the game. Like I was good, dude. Playing Classic WoW, I was. It didn't matter. I couldn't do it with any other game.
Yeah.
But like I pushed through the wall. I was like, screw it, dude. I'm playing Classic WoW. Like this is my crack. Like this is my. I mean, seriously, dude.
This
Yeah.
is my crack.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
just abandoning all
All I'm
obligations.
saying is, if you are a true fanatic, if you truly do love this game, Atticus, you're not gonna have trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that I'll have trouble. Like the big thing about it for me is like having people to do stuff with. When I start playing by myself, I start getting super bored. Just like
See,
so,
but are you gonna get bored? Is what I'm saying. Like,
Gotta
dude,
have your
we're
lifting
coming
partner.
back. It's
Yeah.
2019. You got
Gotta have your
2004
lifting
Classic
partner.
WoW, the first launch. Like this is a moment in history. Like, are you
Oh,
really
yeah.
gonna be bored?
no,
24 hours in?
no. The thing I'm saying like is just like when I'm running around like and I got nobody to talk to and I got nothing going on.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just like I'm driving myself up the wall. But
Right.
I've been doing that on private servers and betas where
Where's your leveling partner, Atticus?
But that's what I'm
You
saying.
have
Like
one?
there hasn't been leveling partners during this, and there hasn't been the reason to
Oh.
continue because it's
Line
always
it
been
up,
like
my dude.
they have an end date. You get what I'm saying? Like the beta had an end date. The private servers I knew they
That's
weren't gonna fucking matter. So that was like, hey, someone just followed me or something. Thank you for that. I think that was a sub on YouTube.
Yeah, we actually had a Twitch Prime here. Are you guys going to roll same race and class you did originally in vanilla or something new?
See that?
Yeah. Of course. I mean, no, actually, okay, because
No, not at all.
what I'm playing now is not what I played back then because what I'm playing now is what
Thought
I've
out?
learned is better and what I've thought is better. Like, but I'm still kind of mulling it over because, like, man, every time I look at an undead, I'm like, undead warriors are really fucking cool.
No, they're not.
Mm.
They're not at all. No,
I know
don't do
they
it.
look so damn frail, and that's like the one thing
don't
that
do
holds
it.
me
Don't
back
do
is
it.
that they're like little tiny, like
They're so interesting. They're like unicorns.
yeah, they're like little bitch boys though, and I'm
Because
just like,
no, seriously, I played on a private server with Kargos and stuff, and he was like, "You're an undead warrior." I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "You're a freaking unicorn, man. I've never seen an
Well,
undead warrior before." And I'm
that
like,
was my first.
"I don't know."
That was my first. Was an undead warrior. So
It's so interesting.
it was just like I
So
don't
you're
know.
just playing a different race, not a different class.
Yeah, no, I'm never. Come on now, I'm not playing anything
So,
better.
so different race, but same class. Okay,
Always
so for
same
me,
class.
For me, same class, just like my boy here, warrior, hands down. Hands
Hell
down.
yeah, dude.
Warrior,
Does that
but I'm
constitute
going
as a change,
Tauren.
though?
I'm
That's
going
not
Tauren.
different to me. I feel like you're not
What's
playing
that?
anything different. Play this.
What?
It's
I
like
mean,
it's
we're in
like
the same
intricately
class?
different. It's like
But I'm
it-
tanking.
Like okay, this is real though. And
Yeah.
sorry to keep going on a rant here, but like when I play as like an undead, I could have the exact same gear, but then like I can go like race change and be a orc, and it just feels like I'm fucking hitting harder. Like the motions in the character, like I swear to God, I think the damage gets increased, and to a degree it does because they have slightly higher strength base stats. But like I just feel like the undead is like super squishy and like just doesn't do as much damage. It's weird, but there's a different like ambiance like feeling to every race.
It doesn't do as much damage.
That's what it feels like. That's
Come
what
on,
I'm saying.
That's getting to you. That's getting to you, man. Come on.
No, I'm just saying that's
funny,
just what
though.
it feels like. But like I said, they do have undeads do have a lower base stat for strength, so to a degree,
technically
yes,
do
they do
less
technically do less damage, but it's not
Just
noticeable.
Taurens technically have a little bit extra health, like by like 10.
But
Well,
yeah,
they have, it's their base stats.
We got a
all
racial.
all the races start with different base stats.
Mhm.
Yes, they do.
Like-
Troll technically does have the best.
an undead
But-
warrior has 6 less strength than an orc
Well, just
warrior.
like just like a
because-
shaman. I was gonna say a shaman. Tauren can only do like one healing spell. And
Yeah,
they're
and-
completely out of
and-
mana.
Well,
Like,
while
it's
we're on
just
this
empty.
topic,
Feels like
like are you guys choosing things because personally I hate min maxing like races, racial abilities, base stats. Like, does it make that big of a difference? I know like the
Yes.
weapon specializations, the orc stun racial, I
Yeah.
think those are two specializations that make a difference, but like
yeah.
give me a break, man.
No.
Yeah.
The base
But
stats
it's
don't
just
make
base
that
number
much of a
crunching.
difference. No. I'm not saying that the base stats do. I'm just saying that, like,
Well-
statistically speaking, they do.
Pilgrims over here. Well, my
so
spreadsheet show
mathematically
me.
speaking, I don't mean to be like that, but no, seriously, like when it
That's so
comes
great,
to
Pohgren.
best like warrior tank in the game, just because the bonus agility gives the extra dodge.
Troll.
No, actually, it's
Night
elf.
elf.
Night elf. Night elf actually has better dodge chance. And
I was
everything.
saying on
Well, they
horde,
Now,
have-
sorry.
troll
Yeah, dodge.
is the best horde. I think the
Yeah,
best
exactly.
horde tank is a troll. I
Yeah.
personally, that's like
Because
hands
why?
down that helps.
But
Why?
night elves actually have
Because
a
their
ratio
base
for
stat,
1% more
actually.
dodge, don't
Because
they?
Their base stats.
It's-
No, the berserking is also a huge factor.
Berserking is really great
in-
for weapon
and-
speed, so that we get
and
up a bunch
aggro.
But what do they get?
Yeah.
+3 stamina over every other race? Like 30
I think
health?
they actually
Is
get.
that
They
what you're
also get.
constituting?
No. I thought they also had a bonus to agility.
No.
No.
They got
Night elves have 1% more dodge as a racial, and then they have
Yep.
slightly higher base agility. So it's more so their racial 1% dodge that you're seeing
Right.
the effect of for better tanking than the
I
base
understand
stats. But
Yeah,
obviously the
but
base
those
stats
base
do
stats-
play a factor.
So like
the
at high
berserking
end-
rage does also.
Oh yeah, berserking rage is amazing.
Because you got to remember also dodge is a
Aggro.
100% thing. It's not like I have 3 dodge, so I'm only ignoring slightly more attack or damage from an attack. It's like I'm dodging that attack, and like there's
Gone.
got to be like 1 attack or 2 attacks in there
Right.
that I'm dodging because I have that 3 extra agility.
Okay, yeah,
Mhm.
okay, here, real quick, guys. Riddle me this. Answer this. What situation do you have to be in to where these base stats and racials make a difference? How competitive do you have to be? What constitutes I'm choosing this racing class because of their base stats and their racials?
if you're going poop sock, if you're going full poop
If
sock,
you're going
no,
full
I'm
poop-
not. I'm kid you not. It literally, if you go top end, let's say we have a troll standing next to an orc, standing next to a night elf, standing next to a dwarf. And they're
Yeah.
all
But like,
Their
what things in
bonus
the game, what
racial
goals in the game do you have to
rating.
do to
like legit raider. Like if you want to be like
for
a
s-
top
for
end
speed testing?
people
Top
look at that
1%.
shit. Like top
1%.
1%. I'm
Right.
talking about the top 1%. They'll
1%.
look at that shit because that
Right.
orc won't have higher agility
Right.
than that night elf. That night elf will always have higher agility because it's base stat.
Pohgren just disappears.
He
into the
dies.
darkness.
But no, I'll
Sorry,
agree
no,
with
no,
him.
no, no. It's getting really,
It's
really
that
loud.
it's that aspect. So Yeah, going back to his original question there, I'll be choosing the original where he says, I was an orc. Going Tauren now because I'm tanking. I choose Tauren because I feel like the extra stamina, the AoE stun, and just overall 2 yards worth of range and reach is going to help me more as a tank than just additional berserking and being able to hold aggro a little bit more. I don't think I'll have aggro problems.
But you don't think that the axe specialization is gonna help more
No,
with threat? You don't
because
think
that
it's gonna play a
limits me
factor?
on weapons. I'd
It
rather
does.
be free of weapons
True.
than be limited on weapons. Now, if you want to min max, yes, of course, orcs with the axe specialization.
Mhm.
Orcs, in my opinion, are all around the best warrior due to, well, PvP. They can PvP because of the
Mhm.
stun resistance.
resist.
The axe because they can be the best DPS because they
Mhm.
automatically have that additional, axe specialization and just overall. They're overall
Because
just
that sword,
better.
like I can also say that humans have a good chance because of swords. Like they have a
All
chance.
right,
of
I was
getting
talking.
more
I was
attack.
talking horde, my brother.
Okay, talking horde.
It's horde
yes.
only.
Orc,
Horde only.
I would say orc is the best warrior. Hands
I
Well,
never
the best
talk
at
within the
overall
whole game.
warrior.
At overall warrior.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
like I mean, if you look at like just straight DPS, if you're using axes, which you should be because there's a bunch of good ones, blah 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 blah, for DPS, then yeah, that's great, and that can help you with your DPS, and then you've got good stats for tanking as well. It's just that the one problem when it comes to tanking is that you don't want to use blood rage because and there are some
Right.
fights where there are like it's like things like 1 or something where there is a stun, so the stun ratio can help a tiny bit, but that's not really why you choose it.
Yeah.
So
I opt out of that.
yeah,
I'd rather have the range and the
of
extra
course,
health.
no, of
Plus-
course. I'm just saying if you're trying to do everything, then an orc
Yeah.
is the way to go. If
Yeah,
you're trying
orcs,
to do
orcs
one
the most
thing,
balanced overall across the board.
Yeah.
They're the Mario of the horde race.
yeah,
They're
basically.
good
I
at
would say just-
everything, not
especially-
master at any.
Robin, get the fuck out with that gnome shit. I'm just kidding. I love you.
So I just want to say one thing about it. The main reason I'm playing Tauren honestly is because they look the coolest. They
I will
look
give you this.
They look the best, and in my opinion, my full opinion, if you're playing classic, play the class that when you log into your goddamn vanilla amazing, straight into that login screen. When you log into that screen and your
proud of
character comes up and you're like, yes, that's fucking me. You know what I mean? It's like when you bought the right fucking vehicle and it's out and you walk out into your garage or walk outside and you're like, that's my fucking car. That's how you picked the right class.
Yeah.
So when you log in and you're like, that sexy beast, and then you hit the enter button and you're like, yes, like that will make you want to come back and play the game. So that's the class you should play, in my opinion.
No, I
That's my
totally agree.
opinion on it.
Nice.
I'm not a min-maxer at all. I love Taurens, and I just love how they are with warriors with the two-hander. They're freaking real, dude.
This
No,
the
Robin.
reason why I hate gnome.
Robin
I hate
says,
gnome for that reason.
let's admit it, Hypno looks like a Tauren. I can see why he'll play it.
Oh, yeah.
I'll
You
fucking
fucking
ready,
do.
man.
You need
Let's
to, dude,
fucking go.
for launch when you're streaming, you need to have some paper mache horns stuck to the side of your headphones.
Dude, I'm way ahead of you. Atticus, because I'm going,
Oh,
and
man.
I'm going Tauren Druid. Back in the day, I played, as a 9-year-old kid, Gnome Warrior. I always have to throw on a 9-year-old.
Why? Why?
Why?
Oh, that was why I said, because as a 9-year-old kid, I played Gnome Warrior. Of course, I played a Gnome. Anyways, yeah, dude, whenever Classic comes back, I don't remember when I played a Druid. There was a lot of talk between my family, my uncles, my brothers. They played Tauren Druids back in Vanilla. I never did back in Vanilla. I picked up a Druid at some point, but I always loved the fact that they were hybrids. They were hybrid class, right? So, yes, and because I'm playing Druid and I'm going Horde, I have to be Tauren. But I will say, Robin said up here too, I love Taurens because they're big hippie cow stoners in tune with nature and spirit. And it's so true.
I like it.
I
You can see it on the beginning cinematic. You can see it on a couple loading screens or like animations, whatever I'm trying to say. Like I've kind of seen that, but I will say, Robin, I've been reading up on the lore, and if you've been watching a couple
Oh,
Goodnight Azeroths,
Lord.
you follow me.
Here
dude,
we
I've been
go.
reading up on the lore, and it's so nice, dude. It is so nice. They totally are.
He loves
in
his
tune with
lore.
nature, hippies. Oh, dude, I love the lore. It brought a whole new aspect to the game for me. And I'm literally gonna roleplay the first weekend of Bird.
Oh god.
Yeah, no, I'm roleplaying. I am. The first week of streaming, I'm gonna be roleplaying. My whole one-room apartment's gonna be full green screen. I've already got a huge, beard braided. I've got horns. I've got an outfit. Literally, straight up.
Grays,
straight
really?
up. Yes, no.
All right, guys, that's it for Goodnight Azeroth. I quit. Goodbye.
Nope. Wait. Grays, if you're going down this dank, deep hole,
yes,
you're not going alone. I'll sit in my peasant garb, and I'll sit on stream with a tavern background.
Oh my god, dude!
I'm not kidding.
What I'm waiting for.
I'm not lying at all. Like I went earlier this week to Austin, and we went to a costume store.
You seem crazy, though.
Yeah, dude. So it just Robin pointing that out.
Crazy, dude.
I will. The lore has more weight in choosing my class. Seriously, after I've been reading up on this, and I'm already sold on Torn Druid. And maybe I can't say this as a matter of fact.
Have to be.
But like, I'm more sold on the lore than I am
stuck in there.
than I am racials. And I know that's interesting, like an interesting point of view. But that's how I appreciate the game. That's how I look at it. And tell me what that is, Pohgren, in a second.
Yeah, come back.
But yeah, the lore holds so much more weight than base stats. That's just my personal preference, how I choose to play the game. I don't care about min-maxing. I'd rather, like Hypnotic said, log into my character, go, that's my sexy card, that's what I chose out, that's what I picked.
Yes,
and I love to do it every day. So I think the lore is more important than min-maxing. So anyway, interesting. I like that, Robin. Yeah, I'm totally with you on the torrents being hip. Dude, I'm gonna have the the bone necklaces.
Are we still on this shit? I'm fucking
I'm moving on. I'm done.
No, I'm fucking around.
Okay, so the book I have in my hand. The book I have in my hand. It's called the Warcraft Archive. These are one of the first. They
might have to take some mushrooms.
No, hold on. Oh, sweet God, no, man. Okay, so they originally released like little softcover books like this is Lord of the Clans. This goes over Thrall's back. What they did later in I guess the game had been out for a while, and as they got more and more books, they released the archives. So, like for instance, this is actually, you can see here, 4 different books. So this is Day of Dragons, Lord of the Clans, which is the one I just showed you. The Last Guardian, which goes over Medivh and how he actually came into being, who he was, and how he got killed. And then Of Blood and Honor, which goes over Eitrig and what's his name?
I actually like the Medivh one.
Pohgren, I want to say no.
Pohgren.
What's the one guy who becomes like the head of the Silver Hand during Wrath of Lich? He was exiled. He was exiled.
Pohgren wasn't.
No, not Pohgren. What's his name though? What's his name?
Pohgren's long gone after that fact.
You gotta Google it for me. But basically, it's the story of an orc who meets a paladin, and the paladin changes. The paladin literally learns that the orcs are honorable and not bloodthirsty, savages, and he helps bring him back. Eitrig has a tie to an Alliance character like no other, and he's always been Thrall's guide. He's like he's kind of like he's the reason why he's such an important advisor to Thrall is because of like what happens in this entire book. It's like on page 500.
The leaders of the Silver Hand. The leaders of the Silver Hand have been Tyrion Fordring, Saden.
Fordring. There you go. Thank you. It's Fordring.
It's really him.
It's the first one.
Fordring.
How'd you forget that one? Come on now.
Because my brain doesn't want to work. So, the total book is 613 pages. But this goes over some of the basic lore bits. I would always suggest picking this up. It's pretty cheap.
Archive?
You got Archive. It's Archive Volume. This is Archive 1. There's Archive Volume 2, which goes over the War of the Ancients. And you get Roxagar's story. You get the story of Illidan, Stormrage, along with Malfurion and Tyrande, and where like the actual 10,000 years prior to Warcraft. And then there's Archive World of Warcraft, or even Warcraft. Actually, sorry, 10,000 years before Warcraft.
Wow. Okay.
And then there's also Beyond the Dark Portal goes over what happens with the shamans. This is how the orcs become tainted by by Kill Jaden. This book's awesome.
That doesn't that somewhat follow what actually the Warcraft movie was about. I know it wasn't
a little
great,
bit. Yeah, you'll get the Last Guardian and this book were spliced together. The Last Guardian and this book were spliced together.
Okay, that's cool. Hey, Grays is getting a call out there on Twitch.
Yeah. Jagged. That's what's up, dude. Between now and Classic dropping, I'll be doing Dungeon Guide series. But after the game drops, dude, it's gonna be a whole new game between content, streaming,
ball game, baby.
No,
So then-
yeah, that's interesting. I like that. And real quick, guys, what do you think about lore in the game? Is it totally a beta male thing to do to be excited about lore? Like, is it something I should like? Because no one ever talks about that. In my take on lore, and
I
no
would say
one
it's beta male. I would say beta male is going into PvP hardcore. Atticus.
well, listen, like all the main content creators, all the voices for this game, no one about lore. Literally, all the big streamers, they're all about, oh, I'm gonna min max, I'm gonna get to in-game rating, I'm gonna get best in slot, everything, and then I'm waiting on the second iteration of WoW. Like no one shows appreciation for lore in the game, right? So I don't know.
I'm done.
Is there a reason for that? Like, is it totally a beta thing to do? Not that there's
I
anything.
don't know, man. It's
But I would love to bring light because Def Camp and Melderon have brought it up. A couple other people talking about playing RP PvP. They're like, I want to experience the game in a different way. Are we going to see this new wave of lore appreciation and classic?
I
Which
would
is
hope
interesting,
so.
because like no one's seriously who has shown love to the lore in classic WoW. I mean, I know there's channels and there's people that have dedicated to it, but no one's ever been like lore crazy.
Specifically, just for classic WoW.
Nobel.
Like Noble
I was gonna
87
say.
is all WoW.
Right,
lore.
and there's one or two
I was
people.
gonna
But
say,
there's
well,
just...
what about the red T-shirt guy?
Well, no, I can agree.
Right.
I can agree. There's a lot of channels. What are a lot of
He was real.
classic WoW channels about?
The dwarf is not wiped still.
Yeah.
God.
No, but it's about guides, about min-maxing and making the best character. Like, there's only a handful that care about the lore, and they do it pretty damn good. Doran's movies, Noble 87, Belial actually did a couple Def Camp Melderon have touched on the lore.
Right.
I'm planning on doing more videos. But there's
Melderon's
not, you
very
can't-
into it, and
I
Def
can
Camp as
name-
well.
I
They're
can
both
name, like,
very into it.
5, I think, in
I'm
total.
gonna say.
Sure.
The only
But out of
lore that I
everyone else
really
out there, it's all about PvP. It's all about PvE, like min-maxing. Sorry, go.
no, just for one, Pohgren, fuck you. For two, the lore is only cool if you're talking about like Scarlet Monastery lore. I love that shit. I love anything involving like
Ooh, I like this.
like
Yeah.
I like the stuff that involves the Wrath of the Lich King type lore, not the stuff of Wrath of the Lich King, but the stuff that was like relative before and during vanilla that led
This
up
man's
to
saying
that.
Tales of the Old Three.
Like,
That's what-
yeah, I'm talking about like just stuff that has to do with like the Scourge. Like that's cool to me. Like how
Yeah.
there was all those like just the whole story of like Arthas in general. That was cool.
Yeah.
Aside from
Atticus, you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about though with Tales of the Old Three, right?
I've heard it. I'm probably familiar with it.
Oh.
Remind me.
It's it was an entire film series. There was 1, 2, and 3. 1 and 2 were kind of like meh, and then 3 was like it took him to like 4,000 plus hours, an individual person, to actually make a movie based off of the lore to Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. I need to watch this.
Oh my
Are you talking about the Tales of the Past? Are you talking about Tales of the Past?
3.
Okay, hold
Tales
on,
of the
hold on.
Past
I'm gonna hold you up right now.
You're good.
It is partly the lore.
It's partly.
It's an
But-
anime at the core of it. It's about some kid who gets
so
Hypnotic.
good.
I
power.
didn't know you were in anime.
It's so good though. It's
I mean,
not
it's-
anime like
it gets you
that.
hyped.
Come
It gets you
on,
hyped. It gets you hyped.
dude. No, it's so good. Like this guy spent 4,000 hours of his own time on this, and I'm talking like literally anime level. Fuck you, Pohgren. Anime level. Anime level. Like but
the
it's
voice acting is
kind
kinda cringe.
Warcraft. Okay,
But it's good.
In the last one, it's very good. The first 2 tales, it's like very janky, but the third
Here's the
one,
full thing.
he does it very well.
Atticus is cutting himself. What?
No, I
Because we're
was.
talking about lore.
No, I'm trimming off calluses, so I guess.
I need PvP, please.
I guess
God,
technically I am
somebody."
cutting myself, but I'm peeling off calluses. Sorry.
Oh God.
No, but I like what Atticus said. He appreciates the lore in Scarlet Monastery. He appreciates certain parts of the game's lore. It may not be tied to your character, but like quest chains, dude. The Defias Brotherhood quest chain, guys. If you follow Hamster Wheel, he's done a couple quest chain series. Dude, the lore in some of these adventures that you experience in these zones is unbelievable. So I can see the appreciation for the lore in the NPCs around you, different factions, all the reputations that you gain. Yes, I think that's a really cool aspect of the game. It's something that can be unexplored. And Thermophile said, the thing is, lore is static. Lore is what there is and has happened and cannot change. Min-maxing changes as new information becomes available. So there's just more content.
True, it's fluid. It's fluid
True.
information, not written in stone.
But that's where I disagree, dude. Lore, there's a base for lore, and then what you do with that lore is unending. I'm speaking on terms of eventually once we play through a complete iteration of Classic WoW in 2 to 3 years, whether it's the second iteration or the end of Classic WoW, like I'm gonna be creating my own quest lines, my own quest chains. That's gonna be lore related. You need to know certain lore facts in order to figure out my riddle to complete this quest to win my $1,000. So lore is important, and lore can change. $1,000, yeah, like a weekend long.
Holy shit!
Quest who figures it out, right? So that's where my argument is like, and I totally get what you're saying. Things are only going to be able to get min-max to so long. Lore is unending. Numbers, you can only push to one point, and you'll never top it. Lore, dude, it's an imagination. It's Dungeons and Dragons. It never ends.
Like you can make it into something. Like you can actually take the lore and play a D&D campaign.
Hey, I linked that by the
Don't come
way.
against me,
Within, I'm gonna link that on both and Pohgren and yeah.
But
My thing with
Tales.
the
So
lore
that was
is
the Tales of the Three. You need to watch it if you haven't. It's an hour and a half, but it's worth the watch if you love World of Warcraft. It's not totally accurate as Pohgren has pointed out, but it's
horribly inaccurate.
it really is.
It's fun.
Really
It's
bad.
fun.
It's very
It's
fun.
bad.
Very
It's
good.
bad.
It's an hour and a half. If you have an hour and a half to just chill and
It's like,
chill, just watch
yeah.
it.
It's
Watch
like
it.
watching a bad 80s movie.
Atticus,
You know what's bad,
Atticus,
but you
you'd
just
love it.
which one?
It's not that bad. It's really good.
What?
That link, I just
Oh
linked it in.
yeah. I'll watch it.
in
I'll watch
Twitch.
it.
You should, yeah, definitely watch that. And I'm gonna link it.
Yeah,
down here.
exactly. Vrico right here. See, make your own lore. That actually kind of defines what my kind of view on it is like. I like the stories, but I don't need to play them. I'm playing my own story. I'm creating my own legend. That's the thing about it for me. That's why That's why I'm so like hyped about this. Like I've been saying forever, it's fucking unfinished business for me. There is a piece of the lore that I didn't get to finish, which was my story. So like that's what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to become that person that everyone sees on the server and it's like, hey, it's that motherfucker again. God damn it. Like,
And that's actually true because Classic is one of the only times you can, in my opinion, complete your own lore. Because outside of that, all other expansions, you just keep going forever.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, though. Like,
keep going.
It was Classic, a good bit of Burning Crusade, kind of died off in Wrath. But that was those times when you would see other players and recognize them and be like, oh, I don't want to mess with that one, or I got to stay away from him, or oh god, it's him again. You know, like. Oh, that guy's a bitch. I want to kill him because he fucked me up or whatever. But yeah, that's for me. It's just I just don't like playing a movie. I would rather watch a movie, as opposed to creating my own. I like creating my own.
Nice.
But
no
yeah.
problem.
So
all the lore does is lets us have a frame of reference, and that's all we need to kind of take away from it. Like, Grays, if you don't, I want you to start making like journals with you in full Tauren costume, telling us about the nature.
And today I sucked a dick.
fucking love it.
And today I pooned some noodles.
Oh my god, dude.
I was mixing up the medicine bowl and
I wore stop.
I found
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for him to like pan to the left, and there'd just be like 3 hippies in his living room. Like,
my brother.
What?
I told my brother that I couldn't get it up anymore, so he gave me these herbs to rub on my dick. Turned out they were jalapenos. Now my dick's on fire.
First watching, and you just see somebody just waft a huge like intake into his face from the left hand.
Just fucking.
Well, you hear it.
Come with me, children, on a journey of the mind.
Oh,
that
God.
shit will fuck you up.
Oh shit.
That's what I'm into, man. I don't know why.
He's in the
Hey,
hole.
bro, I ain't gonna give you. I ain't gonna.
And guys, and hear me out, and I'll shed some light on why I'm into that. And it was my original experience on the game back in 2004. I was 9 years old. I didn't do in-game raiding. I didn't do in-game PvP. I didn't min-max thing. Exploration of the game was my WoW, right? That was my experience. And so this nostalgia of exploration, the way I remember the game being back then, is how I want to play the game. And, you know, there is still some part of the game, like I said, in-game rating, competitive PvP I've never done before, so that's still up in the air, and maybe I could enjoy that. But for some reason, I was so attached. Like, the way people were introduced to this game, it has such a resonating factor to it. Like, I
Right.
don't want to play the game any different. I don't know. That's all I know. That's what I want to do. You know, and so maybe that's where a lot of this is stemming from. But it's weird, dude. It's weird how sentimental it gets whenever I start talking about it. Like,
Don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry.
The tears of a virgin are what I needed for this spell.
hey,
Anyway,
man.
I think we're gonna wrap it up right here. It's getting late. We started a little late, but we're not gonna be doing that next week. But yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything to
Sorry
finish
about
it up
that.
with?
That was me.
It's all
starting
good.
A little
No,
late.
it's all
My
good.
bad.
Long week has been long. But yeah, thank you guys for
Yes,
showing
indeed.
up. I got nothing else.
Me neither.
I'm all ready.
I got plenty more, but you want to know what? We're gonna save it for next time.
There
All
you
right,
go.
there we go. Sign us out, you creepy fuck.
Yeah, do it up.
Good night, Azeroth.
Later, dude.